My name is Eli Jacobs. I'm a musician. I've been working on music for about 20 years. I've been making good music for about 10, and I love it. It's been a lot of years of learning as many instruments as I can. The first instrument that I ever knew was my voice. Not to be confused with that I was a good singer, but I could understand how to make notes come out, and I could make the note in my head, whether it sounded good or bad, I could make the note in my head come out of my body. And naturally, that became the first instrument that I began songwriting with. Of all the instruments that I own, my favorite has got to be piano, which is funny because I've never taken piano lessons. I've never learned piano from a professional. I've watched people on YouTube play and sort of tried to recreate as well as just experiment on it. The piano visually represents how music works. It's all sort of laid out to you like a script, To the left is low, to the right is high. There's nothing confusing about it. You can visually see what's happening, and if you know math, you can figure out music on a piano. As not being a professional pianist, I find it funny anytime I explain music to anybody, and almost anytime I start writing a song, the piano is where I go. I started writing songs about 20 years ago. It started with me just singing words and trying to make rhymes, because as far as I knew, that's all a song was. As time developed, those super silly kid songs from when I was 6 or 7 years old turned into what sounds would be happening behind this line, and how can I change this line not just so that it rhymes, but how does the line make sense? And then, a couple years later, how does the line make sense within human emotion? And then, though it seems like this would have been one of the earliest steps, one of the more final discoveries was, how does this song make sense to me? Then when you write a song and take in the perspective of how it makes sense to those listening, to your potential audience, that's when all the different parts of the song click together. The lyrics can make sense, but the tempo of the song, right? How fast it is, almost tells the audience how fast their heart should be racing when they're listening to it. Is this upbeat? Is this anxious? Is it slow and calming? You'll put this effort in to make each thing make sense, and if it makes sense right, they can just focus on the words, and they can just listen to the words, and the words will be reinforced by everything happening behind it. One of the most recent songs that I've written, and one of the more interesting stories as well, is the song Ghost. It started as a Halloween idea. There was never going to be singing or lyrics or voice involved. Sat on a piano and I made a semi-creepy series of chords. From there, the way that song progressed, each instrument I added completely morphed the song in its own way. When I brought in voice to Ghost, I was struggling to find lyrics that fit for Halloween without just sounding goofy or silly. So after some time, I asked the question, what does this song mean to me? What does it mean for me? I stopped worrying about whether or not it was going to sound like Halloween to everyone else and started thinking, what do these chords, what do these sounds that the piano are making, what do they remind me of? What experiences of mine do these talk about? And then I wrote a extremely pop set of lyrics. Not to put myself on their level, but just Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swifty sounding lyrics that just sounded like what you'd hear on the radio, not sounding like Halloween at all. Love is only gone if you let it go. So pretend that it didn't, and maybe see. And then I asked the question, what does this mean for the audience? And I knew that these two things didn't really blend yet. So I switched some of the words around. I made the metaphors in the songs, use words like ghost, death, these sort of darker words, but kept all the modern emotional meaning in the song. then I took it to the recording studio. I had this vision of just orchestra, just this soft piano. Again, Halloween creepy vibe. The sound engineer said, that's not what I'm hearing. I'm hearing something else. Suddenly, I have EDM beats going on behind this Halloween song. And then again, I blend it. How does this make sense to the audience? And we added in with the EDM beats, like cathedral bells. Just like these, heavy ringing, creaking of a door here or there to sort of blend it all, bring it all together, which was an awesome experience. And again, a way to see how a song can start with a neat idea and then to let the music come out. And, you can always edit later, but let whatever feels right with it just happen. And it's really cool. Yeah, music is what I do.